Even the smallest person can change the course of the future.
Heathen Stargazers are at it again, and this time with something completely different.
Well, that's more like it. Now, state your business.
Some might have noticed that the regularity of the Heathen Stargazers video production has been a little less productive over the last few months. This is because my energy and attention has been focused on one of, if not the biggest projects I've ever undertaken.
That's all we know about it.
The Heathen Stargazers Portal Oracle. And now, I need your help.
I cannot do this alone.
What is this all about? And how can you help? In truth, you'd be helping me, others, and hopefully yourselves as well. I'm humbly asking for your support in turning this work into a material reality.
Oh, will you help me? Can you help me?
Over the last few years, there has been a steady rise in a different version of the self-help industry, tarot and oracle consulting.
What is this? Are you trying to trick me?
We're at a time of great changes. We're beginning to see ourselves from a new perspective. Many who are tired of living in the pains of the past, insecurity about the future, self-doubt, and toxicity in relationships are looking to heal themselves using these ancient methods of divination. Quite successfully, I might add.
This task was appointed to you, and if you do not find a way, no one will.
So, what exactly is the Heathen Stargazers Portal Oracle? How is it different from other divination tools? Why do we need this? Let's start with what it is and why it might be beneficial on a number of levels for many seeking answers from within themselves. Here I present to you 73 images. The images have numerological associations, symbolic references, color theory, touches of Jungian psychology, and the spirit of Joseph Campbell. They're a collection of intuitively channeled pictorial allegories designed to help the reader walk through the interior boundaries of past trauma and learn defense mechanisms into a healthier, more balanced version of themselves. I've long been interested in the persuasive power of the story. The stories we're told as children influence us into our adulthood. It is known that if children are indoctrinated early into a specific teaching, that teaching will be the foundation for their thought process throughout their lives. Allegory is very powerful. It is a means by which a lesson can be conveyed without the audience actually having to experience the situation themselves. And if, in their lives, the audience is presented with the same situation, they will be better informed as to how to handle it because they can call back on the story and know what to do. An instruction to life, as it were. I had this idea that these stories, whether religious, fantastical, cultural, or mythic, develop pathways within the forming mind as they are repeatedly told. The stories build the brains. This can help account for the seemingly unbreakable loyalty to biased cultural views and reinforcement of traditional values. Some stories were and have been retained in cultures for hundreds of generations through oral tradition. The stories are told directly from previous generations to the next. Some include poetry and song. Other stories were transmitted via pictorial images, as the majority of the populations were illiterate until more recently in history. Through applied symbolism, many ideas can be translated to broad audiences with little or no need for text. This got me thinking of an idea I like to call experiential images. These would be any images that our personal experience has attached a psychological association. So, say we see a baby chick hatch out of a colored egg on Easter when we're visiting our grandparent as a small child. For the rest of our lives, whenever we see a dyed egg or a baby chick, we might think of our grandma. If we see a bad boating accident, boats that color might trigger us into feeling stress, etc. I learned to read the Futhark runes for divination when I was very young. I found it to be a comforting meditation that led me to look within for the answers I was seeking. The progression to tarot was almost symbiotic to the interior growth the runes were facilitating. The more I researched the history and symbolism of the tarot, the hungrier I was for more information on divination tools and their effective benefit to mankind. Astrology was the first recorded attempt at making correlations between human personalities and the cycles of nature. It was our first attempt to understand ourselves within the context of creation. All of these divination systems have been passed down through applied symbols. I find these visual associations quite interesting. It is even more interesting that some images evoke the same response among humans pretty much universally, while other images remain specific to the individual and their personal experience. These experiential images can be subconscious and have subliminal reactions. This is where it gets really intriguing to me. I wonder if not only by changing the internal self-narrative through telling ourselves different, updated, more realistic stories, but also by changing the symbolic connotations to various images, we might be able to heal some of our past traumas, develop greater social understandings, and progress in evolution as healthier human species. About a year ago, I started researching the development of the human brain and medical procedures, including electric currents that treat ailments of the physical brain organ. The brain is the big dog of our nervous systems. Messages are transmitted through the brain by electrical impulses and received through tiny receptors called synapses. The overall makeup of these synaptic pathways develops the overall function and health of the entire body system, all bodily systems, not just the nervous system. It has been observed by the field of psychotherapy that these synaptic pathways can be refurbished by simply talking to ourselves differently. Now, of course, there are many medical conditions that require more than positive thought to be resolved, but it is well known that laughter is the best medicine, and that people who have a good attitude have a higher rate of physical recovery from illness. It isn't about just roses and sunshine and rainbows. Far from it. It's about approaching ourselves, others, and life with a sense of practicality, patience, and forgiveness. Life isn't always pleasant. We must accept that. It isn't about making life continuously pleasant. It's about learning who we are so that we may rise to any occasion in our best form possible through the redirection of thought, on our own terms. It's about telling ourselves accurate stories and making healthier associations with the images so that we may view our past experiences with the reference of lessons instead of the pains of regret. Through objective questions and subjective reasoning, we can change the way we view our experiences. It's still you, just from a healthier point of view. The real you, before the stories, before the pictures, before the experiences. As methods of this sort have helped me heal tremendously from the former self I told myself I was, it is my hope that this work is found to be both useful and helpful to those it finds its way to. Where will the portals lead you? It's time to step through to you.
Oh dear, that must be terribly uncomfortable. But please, it's very important.
Here's someone who can help you. I may not come out alive, but I'm going in there.
So, how can you help? You can help by contributing to this great project, to make it a reality, and to change the mindset that might be holding you back.
You are talking to a man who has laughed in the face of death, sneered at doom, and chuckled at catastrophe.
Asking for help is a personal barrier that I am breaking through myself.
You are now a member of the Legion of Courage.
It's hard.
I take pleasure at this time in presenting you with a small token of our esteem and affection. And remember, my sentimental friend, that a heart is not judged by how much you love, but by how much you are loved by others.
With your generous contribution to the development of this project, you will receive exclusive access to the Portal Oracle Guidebook via a private link on heathenstargazers.org. You will get to view and utilize these images and inquiries before the public. For contributions of $20 and more, you get access to the private link, and I'll send you a 4x6 print signed of the original Heathen Stargazers artwork. For contributions of $40 or more, you'll get access to the private link, a 4x6 signed print, or an 11x14 signed poster, and a signed paperback copy of the Heathen Stargazers Portal Oracle Guidebook. For $60 or more, you get all of the above, plus a first issue Heathen Stargazers Portal Oracle deck signed. And shoot, for $100 or more, you'll get the whole shebang, and I'll even give you a 1-hour private reading using the Portal Oracle via Skype or a video link that you can download and keep.
Oh, dear. That's too wonderful to be true.
But that's so easy. I should have thought of it for you. I should have felt it in my heart.
Heathen Stargazers is unbelievably grateful to you for all of your support in this journey so far. Your presence has given the strength to push through the barriers to living the best life. I am humbled by your grace. There are discoveries waiting anxiously to be made. There are explorations demanding us to look deeper. There is infinite abundance offering itself to us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for loving yourselves enough to be open to healing. Thank you for your contributions to healing humanity by starting with yourself. And thanks for letting the Heathen Stargazers Portal Oracle guide you through your journey. It is time. Step through to you.
Back where I come from, we have universities, seats of great learning, where men go to become great thinkers. And when they come out, they think deep thoughts.
What's all this jabber-wopping when there's work to be done?
Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. My pleasure.